going on, guys? Welcome back. I wanted to do a quick tutorial on my 5 secrets on how to build a bigger chest. So let's get right into it. Number 1 is knowing the anatomy. So the anatomy of your chest, you have the pec major and then the pec minor. So really it's just 2 muscle groups. So you want to make sure that you're targeting them. And traditionally, incline chest is going to work the top of your, incline bench is going to work the top of your chest. Flat bench is going to fill in the middle. And anything decline is going to give you that undercut that you're looking for. So try and keep that in mind. Anatomy is everything. And that goes with everything. As I start to explain how to hit your shoulders or triceps, you'll see that basically you want to do the movement in the path that the muscle grows. So if that shoulder, I want to throw it, if I'm targeting this area, I'm throwing it this way, as opposed to if I want to target this, I'm throwing it that way, because a different muscle group is used. So you have to make sure you know the anatomy of your chest. Second key is leverage and grip. So when I say leverage, I mean that the weight has to be perfectly balanced on top of your wrist, which then is pushed on top of your elbow, and that's in perfect alignment with this part of your chest, so that you're opening and closing. You see how that happens when I close in? You see how that inflection point goes in? So that's what you want to focus on. All right? And grip. I like to do suicide grip, so that means basically that I'm not holding it with my hand over, but rather backwards. It is a dangerous type of grip, so if you're new to training, I'm gonna recommend you do, overhand grip, and you're gripping, with your thumb for that extra leverage. But basically you want the bar to be right here so that it rests perfectly, perpendicular to your wrist. So you don't want the bar to be right here, bending your wrist back, and you don't want it to slide off. You want it to be perfectly right here. So that's what I mean by grip, and then leverage, making sure that it's all the pressure is being put on your elbow so that you can open and close this. Third secret is time under tension. So with time under tension, you want to make sure that you're doing the movement slowly on the way down and explosive on the way up. And that's because your muscles have 2 types of fiber: fast twitch fibers and slow twitch fibers. The slow twitch fibers are going to be used when you're bringing it down, slowly controlling it. You're going to see everything start to rip apart, and that's what you want. And the fast twitch is the explosive type of movements. And if you train in boxing or MMA, this is what you're going to want to focus on: explosive type movements, moving out, that kind of stuff, so where you're exploding. And this is great training for that. Key number four is getting all of your pressing out of the way. So that means bench press, dumbbell pressing, machine press, anything where you're pressing. You want to get that out of the way first, because that's what's going to take the most strength, and it's what's gonna put on the mass. So you want to start by putting on the mass, getting a nice pump, and then afterwards you move into flies. So with flies, that's when you're shaping the pectoral muscle. So you want to make sure that you're squeezing, and you're squeezing the top, squeezing it in the direction that it's going. So if, for example, if I'm doing flies and I'm trying to target the bottom, then I'm gonna be holding it from the bottom and squeezing up like that. But if I'm trying to do it from the top, I'm coming in from the top and I'm squeezing downward in the direction that the muscle grows. So you want to get your pressing out of the way, get all of the pressing done, and then move into flies. Lastly, and this is probably the most important one, and it goes for all of them, so I'll probably be writing it down, I'll probably be bringing it back up, it's being methodical, which means come into the gym with a goal in mind. So that means coming in with a piece of paper and, finding out what your max is, finding out what's a comfortable weight. And every time you go back into the gym, you're either trying to go up in the weight, you're trying to go up in the number of reps that you can do, or you're trying to go up in the amount, in the time under tension, so the amount that the bar is actually on your muscle. So every time you need to know where you stand and where to go, so you know how to push. Because if you're just going in there and you're just going through the motions, trying to move, you're never really going to see the growth that you want. So you have to be methodical, you have to plan it out, come into the gym with a goal in mind. So in review, you have to know the anatomy, you have to know the different areas of the chest, and 2, you need to be mindful of the leverage and the grip. Three, you have to make sure that you utilize time under tension as much as possible, and really, don't just don't just fly through the movement. So where your tricep is being used more than your chest, but it very mindfully, very slowly bringing it down and squeezing back up. And number four, pressing. So get all of the pressing out of the way, and then flies where you're bringing it out and in and squeezing. And if you can see, that's what really, gives the definition to the chest and really makes it pop out, And lastly, be methodical. So that means write things down, come into the gym with a goal in mind, and crush it. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you're trying some of this stuff out, how it works for you. I'm always here to help. Let's get this growth. Be fantastic.